If you do the math, the numbers can be terrifying. You look back at the last 20 or 30 years and realize you're not where you wanted to be. Maybe it was because of addiction, a bad marriage, poor financial choices, or maybe you don't even know why. You calculate the lost income and the lost time, and the return on investment looks impossible to recover from. You look at the hole you're in and think, it's too deep.
That math causes panic. It makes you feel like you have to sprint just to catch up to where everyone else started. But panic doesn't build a future, it just freezes you in the present.
Today, we're going to challenge that math. We aren't going to tell you to just think positive. We're going to give you a specific strategy called the Salvage Audit to stop calculating the loss and start calculating the assets you actually have. You see, in business, there's a term called the Sunk Cost Fallacy. It's the tendency to keep throwing good money or time after bad, just because you've already spent so much. I see people do this constantly. I've done it many times. We stare at the wreckage of our past career or our past drinking days or whatever, and we try to fix the past. We replay the tape. If I hadn't done that, I'd have a great retirement fund now. Here's the hard truth. That capital's gone. The time is spent. Staring at the receipt doesn't put the money back in the bank.
And while Terry talks about the financial side, the emotional side is just as sticky. We hold on to guilt like it's a form of payment. We think if we feel bad enough for long enough, we somehow pay off the debt of the past. But guilt is just interest on a debt that you can never pay. It eats up your energy for today.
So, how do we move forward? In demolition, when you tear down an old, rot-infested building, you don't burn everything. You look at the salvage. You strip the copper wire. You keep the solid oak beams. The structure is gone, but the materials are valuable. We need to treat your past 30 years like a demolition site, not a landfill.
Instead of asking, what did I lose? The question becomes, what can I extract? For example, you survived a high conflict divorce. The marriage is gone. That's the rubble. But the salvage is that you are now an expert at spotting manipulation. You have a BS detector that a 20-year-old doesn't have. That is a high value material for your next chapter.
For me, the years of addiction were costly, but I did pull something out of the fire. For decades, I was terrified to ask for help. I was paralyzed by what other people would think if I admitted I was struggling. I thought my silence was strength. My salvage is that I finally learned to drop the mask. I learned to sit with the discomfort of being vulnerable. Now, I know that real strength isn't carrying the load alone. It's having the guts to say, I need a hand. That is the foundation I build on today.
I used to beat myself up constantly thinking I'd permanently ruined my life. I'd fallen for a charming partner who drained me physically, emotionally, and financially. It got to the point where I felt like I had nothing left to give. I lost everything except my hope and determination. I finally escaped my abusive ex, but I had to start over. I remember Terry and I talking about how we both felt the same weight, that too late feeling for our individual lives. But my salvage was realizing I had gained the strength I never knew I had. I found my way out, which is $50 and a refusal to give up. Today, I don't look back at what I lost. I look at the lives I've built and know exactly how to help you do the same.
Okay, so you've stopped mourning the past. You've identified your salvage, your grit, your discipline, your BS detector. Now what do you do with it? Most people try to build a skyscraper on day one. They say, I'm going to start a new career, I'm going to run a marathon, and fix my relationships all this week. This is a recipe for collapse.
We recommend a pilot project. In construction, before you build a subdivision, you build a model home. You need to prove to yourself that this is going to actually work.
Here's the strategy. Take one asset you salvaged and apply it to one small area of life this week. If you salvage discipline from your recovery, don't try to start a business yet. Just apply that discipline to something like your physical health. Walk 30 minutes every morning. Prove the foundation holds. If you salvage truth-telling from fixing like a broken marriage, apply it to your finances. Look at your bank account honestly. Ask yourself, What changes need to be made? Do you need to focus on debt, savings, more income? For now, just recognize honestly what needs to be done.
You are testing your new strength. When you see that you can handle the small stuff using the hard earned tools, you get the confidence to tackle the big stuff, like the career change or the new relationships.
Look, we can't give you the last 20 years back. I mean, no one can. But we can promise you this: the version of you that survived those years is stronger than the version of you that went into them.
Use the strength, don't waste it on regret.
Now, we just gave you the salvage tool, but the truth is, when we started, we didn't have any of those tools. We were just figuring it all out in the dark.
We didn't have a map back then, but we developed a blueprint through our own experiences. To hear more of our stories and see how we finally found our way forward and how you can rebuild too, watch this video right here.
Let's get to work.